So, what are you working on now? I hear you've moved into the digital realm.
Yes, I've embraced blogging. I'm now a blogger. I have two
Excellent.
blogs.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Um, in my last job on the corporate side, I was doing more and more work with social media, digital, online, and it was fascinating. But I was looking at it as an outsider. I wasn't involved at the time in things such as Twitter or Facebook. So when I left UM, I decided I would take some time to explore, and it just the way I saw it, I was a blogger in training for the past 30 years because I've kept a personal journal, a daily journal, since all that time, and I've always had a natural interest in history and in pop culture, and that was another great aspect of being in media research, being exposed to TV. So I thought, I'm going to start writing a blog, exploring that. I'm very disciplined. I write my journal every day. So, and my experience on the corporate side taught me how to write concisely and and be able to write in a way that clients and media planners would understand. So I began my blog called History as You Experienced It. In it, I talk about what I remember when certain momentous historical events or pop culture um, occasions occurred. Things like President Kennedy being assassinated, 9/11, the final episode of MASH, things like that. So I started that, and I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about social media because after writing the blog was almost the easy part. Then after that, you have to figure out, well, how do I get people to read or know about it? So from there, you have to find that's what got me introduced to Facebook, because that was a way to let people know about the blog. And then from there, I signed up for Twitter. Um, and now, I've started a second blog. It's called Zeitgeist, and it's about looking at pop culture from a gay perspective. And that's been actually out just for 3 months, but it's wildly successful. And I think many days it's getting more traffic than the history blog. And right now I'm actively looking for ways to monetize the blogs. And in fact, last week I put the history blog up on Kindle, so it is available for any persons who'd like to subscribe to it.
So, you really are getting an overview of what works and what doesn't work to drive traffic to blogs. Do you have some um, tips, something to share?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's fascinating. When I first started writing, I really was just focused on getting the blog post out. And then when it came time to decide, well, are you getting traffic? I started learning more and more as I did research, and it told me how important the headline was. That really it wasn't a place to be creative. You need to really just put what the specific subject is. And I saw how when I would change the headline of a blog from something creative to something more specific, the traffic would pick up. I did something on a hijacker called D.B. Cooper, who hijacked out of a plane in the early 70s. And the first time when I originally wrote it, the headline didn't say anything about him. It just said, "The hijacker vanishes." I thought that was very, I still think it's a great headline. However, I wasn't getting a lot of traffic. So about 6 months later, I changed it and put in D.B. Cooper. And now it's showing up in a lot of Google searches. Secondly, it's really important when you're using photos to actually tag the photo, which means having a little description, because that's often used how Google picks things up. So a lot of times I get the blog looked at just because people see a photo and then click onto that and my blog shows up. And it's also really important to the keywords you choose, and there's just so much, and it's like a game, and so that really works with the side of my brain that's the analytic side. And then I have all the analytics that I see on a daily basis, and that's like a dream come true. And so it's so exciting because every day I look at it, it's like looking at the sports page. So I can see how many people, where they're coming from, not who the people are, but I can see what states, what cities, what parts of the world. I can see what blogs they're reading, and it's fascinating. I could get this little shiver of excitement when I see someone from Kenya or Egypt is looking at the blog and to see what it is they're reading.
Do you find that certain subjects work better for you than others?
Yeah, it appears that the blogs that I've done on weather, like especially I've done them on snowstorms and hurricanes. Those do really well, and also sports events. So when I've written about the Super Bowl or World Series, those do really well.